Hey guys, Miss Alicia, Spiritual Wellness Mindset Coach. I help people who struggle with forgiveness and the negative impact of starting over. Today's message is coming from the Old Testament, Judges chapter 14, verses 1 through 20. I am not a doctor, I am a life coach, okay? How many of you guys have been challenged? Someone has said, hey, I bet you can't do this. I bet you can't do that. And before you knew it, you popped off and said, yes, I can. And they said, well, prove it. And they gave you a certain amount of time to get it done. And you agreed upon it. At the time, you thought it would be simple. Well, you found out that it wasn't simple. It was actually harder than what you expected. And now you mad and you want to get out of it, but you want to get out of it with your integrity. You don't want to look silly. And you're willing to do just about anything to get yourself out of it. Well, there's a story in the Bible, and it has to do with Samson. Many of you guys may know Samson, know him for having the strength in his hair, being in the lap of Delilah. Well, Samson, there was a time when he was going down to Timnah, and he met a Philistine woman, and he liked her, but they were unequally yoked. Samson was a Nazarite, okay? So basically, they're supposed to stay within their own tribe and marry, have kids, and all that good stuff. But Samson was loose. Samson was favored. And Samson, here or there, would break the covenant that God had given his parents. He knew he wasn't supposed to drink strong wine. He knew that he wasn't supposed to cut his hair, touch dead things, or eat from any dead thing. But he would do things, okay? And he didn't always tell his parents. Well, anyway, it says that he told his parents, I met a girl, a Philistine, and I want her. I want y'all to get her for me. And they wondering like, son, why are you doing this? Why do you want a Philistine? And we got our Nazarite women right here. You know, they have the same values, the same standards. No, I want her. So it says as they were going down there to Timnah, it says that a lion head came toward him. And the Holy Spirit that came upon him, and he had the supernatural strength, and he tore it apart. Now, of course, he wasn't supposed to mess with that afterwards, after he had tore it apart. But it says that after they had came back from meeting the people, that it had accumulated bees and made honey. And so he had stuck his hand in there and tasted some of the honey, and he caught it with his family and gave them some too, but he never told them where it came from. So Samson would do things like that, stuff he wasn't supposed to, and his parents didn't know a lot of the stuff he did. But I can tell you, God always knew what he was doing. Same way God know what we doing. We could think we doing some slick stuff and that nobody else saw it, but God be like, I see you, right? Well, anyway, so it says that they went on down there, and it was a custom to have a feast, and that feast was to last 7 days. So while she was probably having her bridal shower, this was considered more like a bachelorette party for him. And it says that the people assigned 30 men to be hanging out with Samson down there. Now, Samson don't know these 30 men, but Samson, being who he was, he's a life of the party type of guy. He told these 30 guys, hey, I got a riddle for y'all. And so they, try not to back down, probably was feeling intimidated and didn't want to show it. They like, well, what? What is it? And he was like, well, wait a minute. Before I tell you this riddle, if y'all get this riddle right, I will give y'all 30 pieces of linen and 30 garments. And if you don't get it right, y'all got to get me 30 pieces of linen and 30 pieces of garment. And so they agreed. Now, mind you, all of 30 against this one little old man. They agreed. And they said, okay, what's the riddle? So Samson said, out of the eater is something to eat. And out of the strong is something sweet. So they heard it. They like, okay. Yeah, I guess they thought, well, it's 30 of us. We can come up with it. So they had been trying to figure it out over and over and over. Couldn't get it. It says by the fourth day, they went to his woman and they told her, let me tell you something. We don't know what this riddle is. What you trying to do? Make us poor? Trying to make us look stupid out here? You better go ask him what that riddle is. And if you don't, we're going to burn you and your daddy's whole family. We're going to burn all of y'all and your house down. So now she been threatened. She got to go and find out what the riddle is. So she came up with the plot of to cry in front of him. Oh, why you doing this to me? Oh, you must don't love me. You didn't even tell me what the riddle was. And he looking at her like, girl, I ain't even told my own family what this riddle is. Why would I tell you? And you just don't love me. And so it says that she pressed him so much that he went on and told her what it was. Of course, she ran that back to the men that threatened her. Come to find out at the last day, right before the time was to expire, they like, we know what it is. We know what it is. And he like, well, what is it? They gonna go tell him the riddle exactly the same way she told them. And it says Samson got mad. And he like, you know what? Y'all been pressing my heifer. Yeah, it's in the Bible. He called it a heifer. He said, y'all been pressing on my heifer because if you hadn't, you never would have known what that riddle was. So it says that he got mad and says that he went on down to Ashkelon and he hit up 30 men and took their linens and their garments and brought it back and gave it to them. And he was mad and he left and went back to his parents' house. And it says that the father of the girl ended up giving her to one of the companions for marriage. Now, why am I telling you this story? Miss Alicia, what does Judges chapter 14, 1 through 20, talking about Samson, got to do with me? Well, if you guys are in the Samson mentality, you're strong, you're well known, you got favor on your life, you're the life of the party type of person, be careful. Be careful who you hang around. Everybody don't really like you like that. Everybody is not intrigued by the things that you can do and not do. Some people can be intimidated because you so carefree, because you can have a smile on your face, because you can be intelligent. Some people don't like that. And for the ladies who are this young lady, be careful who you hang around as well. Because sometimes some of the people that you can hang around can draw bad attention to you and get you caught up. Okay? What is the forgiveness in this? God, forgive me for being haughty. Forgive me for being loose and not paying attention to my surroundings. God, forgive me for just getting in relationships with any old body and not checking their background. I want you to think about that today, okay? The word riddle, unequally yoked, anger. Think about it. What may look good to you may not be good for you. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.